The unimaginable has unfolded in a way no one was prepared for, sending waves of disbelief through every corner of the hip-hop world and far beyond. King Harris, the son of rap legend T.I., lies on the edge of life and death after a savage assault inside jail left him with traumatic brain injuries so severe that doctors were forced to cut into his skull in a desperate attempt to save him. That operation, intended to pull him back from the brink, has plunged him into an even darker reality. He has slipped into a coma and has not regained consciousness, his life now dependent on machines, his survival clinging to the tiniest thread of possibility. Hospital insiders describe the next 48 hours as critical, a window of time that will decide whether King's story ends here or whether he awakens to an uncertain and perhaps permanently altered future. For his parents, family, and millions of fans around the world, those words are not just medical updates. They are daggers piercing hope with every passing hour. Outside the hospital, the atmosphere is thick with grief and dread. T.I. has been seen pacing with his head buried in his hands, each step weighted by a father's unbearable guilt. Tiny, King's mother, collapses into sobs, clutching friends for support as cameras capture the rawest form of parental devastation. Their public pleas echo through social media. "Please pray for our son. He needs a miracle." Those words have ignited a global response. The hashtag #pray for King Harris trends across platforms as strangers, fans, and celebrities light virtual candles, write messages of solidarity, and hold prayer circles in hopes of reaching the young man trapped in silence. But while the prayers spread, so too do the shadows of suspicion. Whispers of conspiracy have begun to circulate, painting this tragedy not as an unfortunate clash inside jail, but as something darker, calculated, and deliberate. Reports emerging from behind prison walls suggest that King was not the victim of random violence, but of a carefully orchestrated hit. Sources claim that he had stumbled across information he was never meant to know. Secrets about powerful gangs, smuggling operations, and the criminal networks that thrive in the darkness of prison corridors. Silencing him, these whispers suggest, was a priority. And in a chilling turn, other leaks go further, pointing fingers at rival camps in the rap industry itself. Boosie's name has surfaced repeatedly, his camp accused of orchestrating the attack in retaliation for scandals linked to King that had reportedly tarnished reputations and stirred animosity. Nothing has been confirmed, yet the mere possibility of industry politics colliding with prison violence has been enough to send shockwaves through fans and insiders alike. Inside the hospital, the tragedy is raw and relentless. Family members gather outside the ICU, their tears soaking tissues, their hands clasped in desperate prayers. The beeping of machines has become the fragile soundtrack of King's fight for life. Each sound a reminder that the boundary between survival and loss is perilously thin. Doctors deliver updates in clipped, clinical tones, warning that even if King pulls through, the consequences of such catastrophic brain trauma could change his life forever. Memory loss, impaired speech, permanent neurological damage, possibilities that haunt the family as they cling to the hope of simply hearing his voice again. The idea that the vibrant, unpredictable, and often controversial King Harris may never return as he once was hangs heavy in the air. Meanwhile, the internet has become a battleground of sympathy, blame, and speculation. Some fans post heartfelt prayers, sharing old videos of King laughing, rapping, or joking around, trying to hold onto the image of a young man full of life. Others, harsher in tone, direct blame squarely at T.I. and his family, accusing them of pushing King into the spotlight too soon, of exploiting his controversies for clout while ignoring the dangers spiraling around him. He was fed to the wolves, One viral comment declared, "And now everyone's shocked the wolves bit back." These accusations sting deeply, casting a shadow over a father and mother already drowning in grief. For every prayer hashtag, another theory emerges, another finger pointed, another thread weaving into a complex tapestry of conspiracy. The streets are talking too. Online forums hum with theories of inside jobs, suggesting not only rival camps or gangs, but also possible involvement of prison staff themselves. One claim that has sparked uproar is the allegation that security cameras in King's Block mysteriously went offline just minutes before the attack, and that guards suspiciously disappeared from their posts at the exact moment the ambush unfolded. Was this sheer coincidence or evidence of a coordinated setup? No one knows for certain, but the timing has ignited fury and deepened mistrust. Protesters are already calling for accountability, demanding answers from prison officials, and insisting that King's blood is on more than just the hands of his attackers. For the Harris family, however, the wider speculation means little compared to the crushing reality they face inside hospital walls. Every hour feels like a countdown. Every silence from the doctors, another blow to their already shattered hearts. Friends close to the family say they are preparing themselves for the worst, even as they cling desperately to any sign of improvement. In private, they whisper about what life will look like if King never wakes up, or worse, if he wakes up only to live a lifetime dependent on care. These are thoughts no parent should ever have to endure, yet they are forced to confront them under the merciless gaze of the public eye. Still, amidst the heartbreak and conspiracy, a current of resilience runs quietly. Fans around the world organize vigils, lighting candles in cities far from Atlanta, sending letters of encouragement, and flooding timelines with messages of hope. Churches are holding prayer services in his name. Strangers are posting videos of children praying for his recovery, and the collective cry of support has transcended borders. For many, King has become more than just the troubled son of a rap superstar. He has become a symbol of the fragility of youth, the dangers of fame, and the need for compassion in a world quick to judge. As the night deepens outside the hospital, the world holds its breath. King Harris lies in a sterile bed, machines doing the work his body no longer can, while his parents keep vigil in a haze of fear and exhaustion. Somewhere between life and death, his fate remains undecided, his story hanging in the balance. Whether he awakens or fades, one truth has already become clear. This is no longer just a family tragedy. It is a moment that has captivated millions, intertwining grief, conspiracy, and the desperate human hope that a miracle might still be possible. The crisis surrounding King Harris has only deepened as his coma stretches on, turning what began as a horrific attack into a sprawling storm of suspicion, betrayal, and unanswered questions. Each update from the hospital grows more alarming. Doctors warn that the swelling in his brain has not subsided, and if he does not respond within the critical window, the damage could become permanent. The thought of a young man barely out of his teens potentially facing lifelong impairment, or worse, never waking again, has crushed millions who watch the tragedy unfold in real time. For his parents, every moment in the ICU is torment. T.I., usually composed and in control, has been seen erupting at medical staff in frustration, demanding answers to questions no one can give. Tiny, shattered by grief, whispers through tears that she just wants her baby back. Their despair is laid bare in front of the world, a family stripped of privacy at its most vulnerable hour, but the silence of the hospital contrasts sharply with the chaos outside. Crowds have gathered near the hospital entrance, holding candles, chanting prayers, and demanding justice. Posters read who set him up, while others declare justice for King. Across social media, hashtags such as #JusticeForKing and #who planned this surge carrying the weight of collective suspicion. People are no longer satisfied with the explanation of a random fight behind bars. Leaked details have dismantled that narrative, replacing it with chilling allegations of a premeditated attack. According to insiders, guards conveniently left King's block just moments before the ambush, and security cameras mysteriously went offline. To many, this reeks of complicity, the kind of carefully timed gaps that could only exist if the attack was sanctioned, or at least ignored by those meant to keep order. Even more disturbing is the whispered claim that a bounty had been placed on King's head, his silence deemed worth more than his life. The theories about why he was targeted are multiplying. Some insist that King uncovered sensitive information about powerful gangs, smuggling operations, and corrupt networks that operate freely inside prison walls. Others point directly to the rap world, suggesting the assault was tied to old grudges, scandals, and rivalries. Boosie's name echoes through conversations online, his camp repeatedly accused of orchestrating revenge for the humiliation tied to King's controversies. Whether truth or rumor, the narrative has spread like wildfire, with viral posts connecting dots between leaked scandals, reputational damage, and King's sudden silencing. Memes, breakdown videos, and conspiracy threads flood timelines, and while no one knows the full truth, the digital jury has already drawn its own conclusions. King's attack was no accident. The Harris family, caught in the glare of relentless attention, is unraveling under the weight. Witnesses describe T.I. as a broken man, pacing the hospital corridors with fury simmering just beneath the surface. Tiny, exhausted and unable to leave her son's side, survives only on coffee, tears, and fragile hope. Their other children are thrust into the chaos, grieving privately while watching the world dissect their brother's tragedy. Online criticism adds salt to the wound. Strangers accuse T.I. and Tiny of years of bad parenting, of pushing King into the spotlight for clout while ignoring his troubles. Viral comments paint them as architects of their son's downfall. They raised him in chaos, fed him to fame, and now act surprised it devoured him. These words cut deeply, turning the family's personal anguish into a public spectacle where judgment arrives faster than compassion. And yet, the criticism doesn't stop at the parents. Some voices claim the family itself may be hiding something darker, accusing them of using King's tragedy to distract from financial troubles or secret lawsuits lurking in the background. Screenshots circulate, alleging the Harrises have more to lose than just their son's life. Could King's suffering be tangled with something larger, a smokescreen for issues yet to be revealed? The allegations grow louder by the day, with each rumor adding another layer of complexity to an already unbearable situation. The truth has become impossible to separate from speculation, and every leak, whether credible or not, deepens the sense that this tragedy is part of a bigger web. Inside the industry, the shockwaves are equally intense. Fellow rappers, producers, and celebrities flood social media with messages of support, but their words are often paired with cryptic suggestions that King's fate ties into larger battles. Subtle warnings and subliminal posts hint that what happened to him is connected to rap feuds, prison politics, and deep-seated grudges that stretch beyond the walls of any cell. Some imply that King was a pawn in games much bigger than himself, and that silencing him serves the interests of people who thrive in shadows. The attack, in this view, is not just a blow against one young man, but a message to anyone else threatening to expose uncomfortable truths. Meanwhile, ordinary fans find themselves torn between prayer and rage. Prayer circles form in churches and community centers, candles burn on street corners, and children post videos of themselves begging God to heal King. Yet anger simmers just beneath the surface. If he does not wake up, many believe retaliation is inevitable. Anonymous posts online hint at bloodshed, with one ominous message declaring, "If the prince falls, the kingdom burns." The implication is clear. If King dies, the consequences will ripple through the rap world in violent, irreversible ways. It is not just a family grieving, but an entire community on the edge of eruption. The hospital has become a fortress. Private guards now stand at King's door, while police patrol the halls after whispers that even within those sterile walls, he may not be safe. A leaked claim that surveillance footage caught masked men tampering with equipment near his bed has only intensified the fear that the attack may not be over. Tiny admitted tearfully that she no longer trusts anyone, terrified that her son could be targeted again even as he lies unconscious. The image of a mother keeping vigil, too afraid to leave her child's side, has struck the world with a mix of sorrow and fury. This isn't just a health crisis, it's a nightmare that refuses to end. Through it all, the most haunting reality persists. Doctors continue to warn that even survival may not bring salvation. The scale of King's injuries suggests a future haunted by the possibility of permanent disability, memory loss, or a lifetime of dependency. For fans, it is almost impossible to accept that the energetic, brash young man, once filling social feeds with antics and controversy, could now be reduced to silence, his future erased by one brutal act. For his parents, the thought is unbearable. They do not want statistics or clinical predictions. They want their son back, laughing, breathing, alive. As the world watches, the Harris family lives through the longest hours of their lives. Each tick of the clock is a cruel reminder that time may not be on their side. The tragedy of King Harris has grown far beyond the boy himself, becoming a symbol of fame's dangers, of conspiracies that thrive in the shadows, and of the fragile line between life and death. Whether he wakes or not, one truth has already etched itself into history. Nothing will ever be the same again. The boy once dismissed as a troublemaker has become the center of one of the most gripping, heartbreaking, and unsettling stories the hip-hop world has ever witnessed. The final stretch of King Harris's fight for survival has plunged into an abyss of fear, grief, and conspiracies that refuse to die. Hospital corridors now feel less like places of healing and more like battlegrounds of whispers, prayers, and unrelenting tension. Machines beep steadily in the ICU, each sound a fragile assurance that King is still alive, yet also a haunting reminder that life hangs by the thinnest thread. Doctors delivered another devastating update. The swelling in King's brain remains stubborn, and if he fails to show signs of responsiveness soon, the consequences will be irreversible. To his family, this is not just medical terminology. It is a countdown that strips hope with every passing hour. Tiny collapsed upon hearing the latest prognosis, her cries echoing through the sterile hallways as cameras captured her agony. "I can't bury my son," she sobbed. "He's just a child." Those raw words, shared across social platforms, pierced millions of hearts, forcing even King's harshest critics into silence. Outside the hospital, chaos unfolds. Crowds of supporters and protesters mix together, their chants and posters creating a storm of grief and anger. Some kneel in prayer circles, holding hands as they beg for a miracle. Others raise signs demanding accountability from the prison system, accusing authorities of negligence and complicity. Hashtags like #Pray for King Harris, #Justice for King, and #Who planned this trend simultaneously, each fueling the fire in its own way. The internet has become a war zone of emotion. On one side are fans desperately pleading for his recovery, sharing old clips of King laughing and performing. On the other side, conspiracy theorists, bloggers, and critics seize on every leak, turning his tragedy into viral content. One viral video accuses T.I. himself of orchestrating the disaster, claiming he sacrificed his son to cover scandals. This isn't an accident, the video asserts. This is karma catching up. As brutal as the accusation is, it resonates with some, further fracturing public opinion. The situation took a darker twist when a leaked medical report suggested traces of a mysterious toxin were found in King's system. Something unrelated to fists or blunt trauma. Doctors, speaking off the record, hinted that his injuries were not solely the result of a prison fight. Something else was done to him. One insider reportedly said, "The revelation sent shockwaves through the public. If true, it would mean King had been deliberately poisoned, turning the tragedy into an assassination attempt." Suspicions escalated instantly. Was this the work of gangs inside prison, a rap feud spiraling into deadly territory, or something far bigger involving money and power? Screenshots of alleged anonymous messages flooded social media, one account declaring, "This wasn't prison violence. This was meant to silence him forever." The whispers deepened, and so did the outrage. For T.I., the weight of the allegations and his son's condition has shattered his once unshakable persona. Known for bravado and confidence, he finally broke down before cameras, his voice trembling as he declared, "They're trying to destroy my family. They don't want King to live because he knows too much. But if my son doesn't make it, the truth will come out." His words exploded online, fueling speculation about what secrets King may have held. Was it information about corrupt officials, powerful gangs, or even explosive industry scandals? Nobody knows for sure, but the uncertainty has only intensified the frenzy. Tiny, meanwhile, has become the emotional anchor of this nightmare. A video of her pressing her hand against the ICU glass, whispering, "Baby, please come back to me," spread worldwide, viewed millions of times as a symbol of maternal desperation that resonated across cultures and communities. The sense of danger has only grown. An alleged dark web leak surfaced showing footage of masked figures tampering with hospital equipment near King's bed before slipping away undetected. If genuine, it suggests the attempt on his life may not be over, that even the hospital is not safe. The Harris family now lives under 24/7 security, with guards stationed at King's room and police patrolling corridors. Yet Tiny herself admitted, "I don't trust anyone. I'm scared to leave his side." The fear that enemies could strike again gnaws at her constantly, her every moment spent in protective vigil. Fans, too, are horrified by the possibility that someone is still trying to finish the job. It has transformed the hospital into a fortress, yet even walls and guards cannot quiet the paranoia. The hip-hop community remains divided, its reactions a reflection of the chaos. Some celebrities post prayers and words of support, while others fan the flames of suspicion with cryptic comments. One rapper ominously declared, "This is what happens when you go against the machine." The phrase reignited online debates, with millions speculating about what hidden truths King may have carried, and whether those truths were dangerous enough to warrant an attack. Each hour, theories multiply, growing darker and more tangled, while the Harris family simply prays for something as simple as a flicker of movement, a sign of life. But hope is fragile, and anger is mounting. Already, warnings of retaliation spread across forums and group chats. Threats of violence ripple through rival camps, some vowing vengeance if King dies. The ominous post, "If the prince falls, the kingdom burns," has become a chilling mantra online, suggesting that King's death would not just be a tragedy, but a spark that could ignite chaos in the streets and beyond. The thought of bloodshed tied to his fate hangs over everything, a reminder that this is more than a personal crisis. It is an event threatening to spiral into broader conflict. As night falls again, millions of eyes remain fixed on updates from the hospital. Fans refresh their feeds endlessly, desperate for any scrap of news. Yet the story remains unchanged. King is in a coma, fighting for his life, and time is slipping away. Whether he survives or not, the events surrounding his attack have already transcended one family's tragedy. King Harris has become a symbol of youth destroyed by violence, fame twisted into a weapon, and secrets so dangerous they might kill. His body lies still, but his name has ignited a global obsession that will not fade easily. Doctors have done all they can, machines keep him tethered to life, and prayers rise in every language. Still, one question refuses to let go, echoing louder than the theories, louder than the protests, louder than even the sobs of his parents. Will King Harris ever open his eyes again, or has the world already lost him?
The answer has not yet come, but one thing is certain: nothing will ever be the same again.